Minecraft, with its blocky, simple-looking graphics, was very different from the other games of its time, which were becoming more and more realistic and detailed. Today, many games aim for high-quality visuals, trying to look as close to real life as possible. But Minecraft's choice to keep its design simple was actually a big reason for its success. The game's intentionally basic style made it feel easy to approach, and it encouraged players to use their own imaginations to fill in the blanks. The main things that made Minecraft so popular when it first came out were its open-ended gameplay, its detailed crafting system, and its randomly generated worlds. Markus Notch Persson's childhood played a huge role in shaping how he designed Minecraft. Growing up in Sweden, in the towns of Ipen and Salem, Markus often felt isolated. He found comfort in the structured world of Lego bricks and the endless possibilities of computer programming. These hobbies helped him cope with not having many real-world friendships or activities by letting him build his own worlds. The early games he played, with their pixelated graphics and straightforward mechanics, were more about sparking imagination than looking real. His interest in computers wasn't just a pastime, it was an escape. Wanting control and a way to express himself, young Markus started coding his own games, turning his passion into a way to create. The excitement he felt from coding and seeing his ideas come to life kept him hooked on programming. While early games like Boulder Dash, Saboteur, and Dwarf Fortress showed him a different side of gaming, one that wasn't just about fighting and violence. These games introduced ideas that would later influence Minecraft. This gave him a sense of control over his own world. This mix of a natural desire to create, an interest in unconventional ideas, and a love for simple but powerful designs became the foundation that Notch used to build Minecraft, a game that changed the video game industry forever. Notch's path to creating Minecraft was not just about playing video games, it was closely connected to his early experiences with programming. Even as a kid, he felt driven to understand and change the code that made these games work. His first steps into programming began with the Commodore 128, where his father taught him the basics. The text-based adventure games he made at first were simple, but they showed his natural talent for building interactive stories from scratch. His skill in programming also stood out when he took apart code and changed existing games like Nibbles, adding extra players and earning early attention. Persson's talent for programming also led to a strong grasp of mathematics. Coding is built on math, and he was a member of Mensa, a group for people with high IQs. When it came to Minecraft, even features like the random terrain generation and complex systems such as Redstone's electrical circuits relied on advanced math. His computational skills helped him write efficient code and improve game performance, and he knew that algorithms and calculations were key to making games work. Aside from his coding and math skills, Markus's approach to game design was shaped by many different types of games. Titles like Boulder Dash, Saboteur, and The Bard's Tale taught him to value tough gameplay, exploration, and storytelling. These games, with their detailed levels, hidden secrets, and deep stories, influenced his vision of a world that was fun and satisfying to explore. Even the graphical limits and small memory of early computer games played a role in shaping his design ideas. His early version of the game, first called Cave Game and later Ruby Dung, took inspiration from the open-ended building style of Infiniminer. He especially liked Infiniminer's block-based world, and how its simple visuals encouraged creativity. These core mechanics mixed the strategic planning of Dwarf Fortress with the exploration of Dungeon Keeper, which led him to choose a first-person view for the game. Dwarf Fortress's open-ended gameplay also appealed to Markus because it let players create their own stories. This idea of giving players control stuck with him and later became a key part of Minecraft. Both Infiniminer and Dwarf Fortress used procedural generation, meaning each player's world was unique, and this inspired him to make an infinite world in Minecraft. This feature would become one of the most loved and important parts of the game, because it meant for endless playtime. Midas Player, the company we know today as King, as an Activision Blizzard King, was where Persson first worked in the gaming industry as a full-time job. It was very different from what he wanted as a developer. The company's main focus was making money, not creating meaningful games. They produced simple web-based games designed to attract as many players as possible and make quick profits through small purchases, microtransactions, and ads. These games were often versions of classic card games, board games, and arcade titles, carefully designed to keep players hooked and spread quickly. The company's strategy was to create games that could be copied and expanded easily, letting them reuse successful ideas as much as possible. Persson's job at Midas Player mostly involved programming these games, which required technical skill and knowledge of the ActionScript programming language. He was good at coding and quickly got used to the company's way of working, contributing to different projects and proving he could get the job done. Still, Persson's creative ideas often didn't fit with Midas Player's strict business model. While he liked trying new things and being original, the company only wanted safe, predictable games that were guaranteed to make money. He was especially disappointed by the company's lack of honesty and its focus on profits over making good, artistic games. This frustration pushed him to work on his own projects in his free time, where he could explore the creative ideas he couldn't express at his regular job. Ruby Dung, the earliest version of what would later become Minecraft, came from Persson's desire to make a game that was both fun and artistically satisfying. Inspired by games like Dwarf Fortress and Infinite Miner, Ruby Dung started as a base-building game with an isometric 3D view. Persson imagined a world where players could explore randomly generated landscapes, collect resources, and build complex structures. The game also had a first-person mode, letting players see the world up close and feel more connected to it. As Persson spent more time on the project, he added role-playing elements, picturing a world where players could go on quests, talk to characters, and create their own stories. But Ruby Dung faced big challenges. One of them was Midas Player's disapproval. They didn't like Persson working on his own commercial projects outside of work. This is a common practice in game development. The company's management believed his personal projects were a distraction and even a threat to their success. This made Persson think they saw him as a problem. Things got worse when he shared an early version of Ruby Dung with his coworkers at work, showing off its mix of building, exploration, and role-playing features. Instead of support, he faced criticism and a warning about the company's rules against employees working on outside projects. Management did not approve of the project, and this was the main reason he decided to quit. Along with not having enough free time, this rejection led to Ruby Dung being abandoned. The disappointment hit Persson hard, since he had put so much effort and passion into the game. This was the final push he needed to leave the company. Unlike the restrictive atmosphere at Midas Player, Persson found a much better environment at Jalbum, a company that made digital photo album software. Carl Manna, Jalbum's CEO, supported Persson's passion for game development, offering a positive and encouraging workplace that was nothing like his old job. At Jalbum, Persson mostly worked on web development, which helped him improve his technical skills and try out new tools. Even within the structure of his job, he worked creatively and enthusiastically, finding new ways to make Jalbum's platform better for users. Then, Notch had a sudden spark of inspiration. After years of experimenting with game development, he came across Zachary Barth's Infinite Miner, a multiplayer game focused on mining and building. The experience was eye-opening. While Infinite Miner had its flaws, Persson saw its core brilliance, the unpredictable, creative gameplay that came from its block-based world. It was a moment of clarity that would change the course of his career forever. Persson immediately went back to Ruby Dung, a project he had previously set aside, and saw a new direction for it. Working from his apartment in Stockholm, Persson spent a busy weekend overhauling the core mechanics of Ruby Dung. He chose Java as the main programming language, a tool he was comfortable with after years of working on independent projects. For the game's visuals, he made the blocks three-dimensional and used textures from his texture atlas. This texture atlas was a single sheet that included both cobblestone and grass textures. Instead of keeping the isometric view of Ruby Dung, he switched to a first-person perspective, putting players directly into the blocky world with all its endless possibilities. Luckily, Infinite Miner was open source, so he could use the ideas presented as a foundation for his game. The project was renamed Cave Game, and with the addition of trees, coal, iron, gold ore, and multiplayer features, it quickly grew from a simple test into a working prototype. During this early stage, Persson's social life took a backseat to his passion for coding. He lived alone in his apartment, enjoying the quiet as he refined the game's mechanics. His home became his development hub. Surrounded by Java code and wrestling with programming challenges, his world became one of digital landscapes and endless potential. This deep enthusiasm for the work soon shaped his strong work ethic and dedication. Looking for feedback and collaboration, Persson turned to the TIG Source Indie Game Forum. There, a user suggested the name Minecraft Order of the Stone, referencing the webcomic The Order of the Stick. Persson liked the sound of it and the way the words flowed, so Minecraft was chosen because, as he put it, it was a good name. The Order of the Stone part was eventually dropped, leaving just Minecraft. It was also on this forum that Persson met Daniel Rosenfeld, a German musician who would later create Minecraft's music and sound effects. Rosenfeld handled the audio, while Persson focused on the visuals. Though the exact details of his visual design process are not recorded, the result was the iconic look we recognize today. The first public alpha version of Minecraft was called 0.011i and was released on TIG Source on May 17, 2009. The response was instant and overwhelmingly positive. Players shared screenshots of their builds, bugs, and suggestions. Persson was active on the forums, replying to feedback, making changes, and building a sense of teamwork with his growing community. He spent all day working on it. This close interaction led to fast-paced development, with Persson frequently releasing new test versions, tools, creatures, and features based directly on player input. When he first shared the prototype, which was then called Cave Game, reactions were mixed. While there was praise, there was a bit of criticism, with one player pointing out, "It's generally really derivative of Infinite Minor." This early feedback showed that it needed to have more originality. The mix of praise and critique helped shape what Minecraft would become. From the beginning, the TIG Source community didn't just criticize, they actively suggested features to make the game better. The forum became an early hub for discussions about multiplayer and other ideas. Users started recommending new tools, creatures, and mechanics. Notch liked these ideas and wanted the game to be more than just a tech demo. He wanted it to feel alive with its own personality and ecosystem. During this time, Notch often shared his thoughts, design ideas, and future plans. He said that he planned on having several game modes, two of which were creative and survival. This openness made players feel like they were part of the game's development, and they basically were. The early development of Minecraft wasn't just about adding new features, it was about improving the core gameplay. Animals, tools, and other interactive elements were added because players asked for them. Notch's design philosophy was clear from the start: focus on fun, listen to players, and make changes quickly. To Notch, it was fun just making the game with his fans. This was a world where players could be creative. The alpha stage wasn't just a phase of development. It was a time for experimenting, trying to break things, and rebuilding it with the community's input. Alpha meant that anything could change, and new ideas were always being considered. Of course, Notch's choice to charge money for Minecraft so early, especially during its alpha phase, was a risky decision that went against what most game developers were doing at the time. Back then, many indie games were given away for free, supported by donations or ads, so Notch's decision to ask for payment for an unfinished game surprised people and caused a lot of discussion. For Notch, it was a carefully thought-out risk based on practicality and a wish to connect directly with his players. He had been inspired by people in the forums and believed they could help guide him to success. Releasing a game in alpha to get feedback from experienced gamers was something he was excited to try. A big part of Notch's reasoning was the need to support himself financially. While he liked his job at Jalbum, it wasn't something he wanted to do forever. To keep working on Minecraft full-time, he needed a way to cover his living costs and put money back into the game. Charging for the game made this possible, giving him a way to justify spending so much time and effort on the project. He also understood the importance of early supporters, so he set up a tiered pricing system to reward those who believed in the game from the beginning, giving them free access to all future updates. This approach made players feel like they were part of the game's growth, turning them into active contributors instead of just customers. Not everyone agreed with this decision. Some people thought it was wrong to charge for an unfinished game, while others worried it would push away players who were used to getting indie games for free. However, the strong positive reaction from the community proved that Notch's plan was working. The free version of Minecraft gave a taste of what the game could be, but it was missing important features like saving and multiplayer, which encouraged players to pay for the full game. Selling directly to players let him avoid working with big publishers and keep full control over the money, which was important for his independence. As Minecraft got more popular, handling all the payments and downloads became harder, but Notch made sure players knew that all updates, even major ones, would stay free. This helped create a fair and sustainable system for everyone. His first 24 hours got him $150. Since the game was still in beta, it had a discount, so it wasn't yet $20. I was a kid at this time, and I remember it was about $10 in alpha, so 15 copies had sold in one day. Notch did a quick calculation in his head to see how much he'd have to sell to quit his job. While he didn't have much hope, he decided that selling 20 copies a day would be enough to quit and get by. The game went on sale on June 12, 2010. By the next month, Notch was used to selling 400 copies a day. The sales reached over 20,000 copies sold in just a few months. Notch was proud to tell his family. For years before this, he had struggled to find success, which disappointed his parents. But now, with Minecraft doing so well, they could finally see his hard work paying off. At first, his goal had just been to make enough money to keep developing the game, but its unexpected success opened up new opportunities. This made him want to build a company focused on creativity and player involvement above everything else. This idea was a big part of why he decided to start Mojang with Jacob Persson and Carl Manna. Persson, a talented programmer he had worked with before, shared Notch's ideas about game design and was excited to work on new projects together. Manna was the CEO of Jalbum. He brought useful business skills, helping them manage the challenges of a fast-growing company. His mix of coding knowledge and business experience turned out to be very important. With these two by his side, Notch officially launched Mojang with the main goal of making the games they had always wanted to create. Choosing to work with people he already knew and trusted helped him feel confident as he started this new chapter. As Minecraft grew more popular, Notch expanded the team. Still, he struggled to include new ideas and perspectives while keeping the game aligned with his original vision. One important new team member was Jens Jeb Bergensten, a talented programmer who later became the lead developer. As the team grew, Markus tried to keep control over the creative direction, but the size of the project forced him to adjust. Finding the right balance between his own creative vision and teamwork would remain an ongoing challenge. Even with these internal pressures, the beta phase introduced key features that shaped Minecraft for years to come. In December 2010, the developers released Minecraft Beta 1.0, which added throwable eggs to the game and raised the price. Just 2 days later, the final update of the year, Beta 1.1, made leaves decay. Every new addition was closely watched by the growing player base. While player feedback was helpful, it also created new worries. As sales skyrocketed, Mojang moved beyond its small beginnings. The team relocated to a new office in Stockholm. This move also prepared them for the rollout of new 1.0 features. Throughout 2011, more YouTubers began covering the game, showing features like spawn eggs, beaches, and super flat worlds, which helped highlight new items. While players may argue over which update was the best, no one can deny the importance of the 2010 Halloween update. This update introduced the Nether, a dangerous hell-like dimension filled with new resources and threats. YouTubers continued to play a major role by the end of 2011, with creators like Sky Does Minecraft exploring the new adventure mode in Minecraft 1.3. The air was full of excitement at Minecon 2011, the first convention completely dedicated to Minecraft. The event took place in Las Vegas and attracted more than 5,000 people from all over the world, all brought together by their love for the blocky universe created by Persson. It was there that Notch pulled the switch to launch 1.0 and mark Minecraft as the unofficially released game. For Notch, The experience was a mix of emotions. While he felt truly thankful for the huge amount of support he saw in the faces of the fans, the attention was also overwhelming. He struggled with nerves before the event and exhaustion afterward as he faced the crowds. Still, this was necessary if he wanted to share Minecraft with the world. The game was now officially out. It was proof of Notch's vision, a celebration of creativity and the desire for connection. It gave players an almost endless sandbox where they could build anything they could imagine. What had once been a small indie game, made by a programmer working in his bedroom, had become a worldwide sensation, ready to change gaming forever. But with this release came the chance for Notch to step back and hand this treasure over to others. While the launch of Minecraft 1.0 was a big moment for Markus, it also marked a shift for Mojang. The team was already making plans to start work on Scrolls. This was a card-based strategy game. They wanted to show that Mojang could succeed beyond just one hit. Fans would still get new content to enjoy, but the team had plenty of ideas for how to expand the game even further. While they were excited about the change, they also felt the pressure to deliver. An official plugin API was in the works. This would make it easier to create and add community-made content. They also planned to improve multiplayer server hosting. Notch's choice to step down as the lead developer of Minecraft in late 2011 was a major moment in the game's history, and a big change in Persson's personal life. While the release of version 1.0 was a success, it also marked the end of years of hard work and single-minded focus. This had led to him feeling burned out. After all, he had given everything to Minecraft, working non-stop on it since it began in 2009, dealing with the challenges of programming and responding to the growing community's demands. The game had become a worldwide hit, far beyond what anyone could have predicted. But this success came with personal sacrifices. As Minecraft's popularity grew, the responsibilities of managing such a huge project started to feel overwhelming. Persson found himself spending less time on the creative side of game development, which was what he loved most. Instead, he became a public figure, representing a fast-expanding brand and facing both praise and criticism. This change was not something he enjoyed. The pressure of satisfying a large audience became a heavy burden, and the need to appeal to kids and parents seemed to limit his creative freedom. He wanted to focus on projects that felt more true to himself, rather than trying to please everyone. Beyond the professional stress, the emotional strain of being the face of Minecraft also played a big part in his decision to leave. As he admitted, he dealt with imposter syndrome, a constant feeling of not being good enough despite his clear achievements. He struggled with the idea of being seen as a creative genius when the game itself seemed to grow beyond his control. Minecraft's success felt almost like luck rather than proof of his skill, which made him anxious about whether he could ever achieve something like it again. This self-doubt, along with the stress of managing a massive project, finally pushed him to make a change. The choice to pass control was not made lightly. Persson had worked with Bergenston for almost a year and had come to respect his programming skills and his grasp of Minecraft's core ideas. Although Markus would stay with the company a little longer, he would no longer be in charge, and he no longer had to feel the pressure of leadership. It wasn't a perfect solution, but it freed him from the weight of new expectations. This change allowed Persson to go back to his love of coding and experimenting with new game ideas, without the stress of leading a huge project or maintaining Minecraft's success. Still, he always held some affection for his game. This isn't the end of the story, and there's a lot more details you never knew about how Minecraft came to be sold. Learning the backstory makes me blame the community more than Notch for the sale. That's a story for another day. If you want a detailed account, make sure to read the book in the description. It's nice to look back at Notch's success and know that sometimes it just takes a good idea and passion to make a successful game. Thanks for watching, and please hit like and subscribe. You're watching Save File, the stories behind games, and I'll be back with more gaming history soon.